god. Use the trampoline though. This one could be a bit to clean up. Use the squirrel to start his with gold red machine to beat a chipmunk. Oh, the squirrel got fed. Always works. Always happens. I like that the squirrel got compensated for it. He's moved centrally, so if someone didn't say that, I would have cared that.
Yes. Yes. Hello. We apologize for any delay. There is a hero mech in Clearfield. Ooh, it's a cataphract. That would almost be temp. If that was a heavier mech, that would be tempting. But alas, I'm in the assault mech range. And I don't think I have anything I can... I don't have anything I can shuffle into cold storage for now. So back to the star map. We do not want to be working for pirates. That was a bad system to come to as well. much better, admittedly.
Attention. Prepare for battle act departure. Warning. Hangar doors opening. Stand clear.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
We've been tasked with an objective raid, targeting a number of warehouses within the area. Our client wants the building and all of its contents destroyed, and is willing to generously compensate us for our efforts. We'll contact you with an evac point once all objectives are destroyed.
Specifically, they want us to take out the only warehouse of coffee in the system.
Acquired.
Ground runner spotted.
Target.
My kill. Enemy eliminated.
I do not like Shadowhawks. They are annoyingly nifty.
Target acquired.
Mind you, I like Victors less.
New target Victor.
Let me start show off.
The good news is the 9A1 is one of the AC-20 variants,
Target destroyed.
so it manages to have both a lovely big cockpit AC 20 for its primary weapon, which means it's a close-in job.
Target destroyed. Target acquired.
Target down.
Target down.
Target destroyed. New target, Cyclops.
I got it. Tango eliminated.
Enemy destroyed. Cleared a mech.
Target destroyed.
Good work, Commander. That's one less target. Yeah!
I'm detecting unidentified mechs in the area. Moving in to investigate.
Target acquired. Target destroyed. New target, Locust. New target, Firestarter.
Enemy mech eliminated.
New target, Vindicator.
So we're going to take a slightly longer route round because, well, I don't like going up narrow canyons after the time I took my buddy's Jenner up one and ran face first into a hunchback. This was what we like to call hazardous to my health. Although I suppose I did still have mech remaining, the hunchback in the end did not.
Hostile spotted. Engaging.
Target acquired. Target acquired. Target acquired. Incoming missile. Heat critical.
Hostile mech down.
Target acquired. New target commander.
Tango down.
Acquired.
Target mech eliminated. Component lost.
Target destroyed.
Target destroyed. Commander, enemy dropship coming in right on top of you. All objectives destroyed. We are inbound on marked evac point. Get here as quickly as you can, Commander. Hostile dropship
Are you my
above.
viewer? It says I have one viewer, but they haven't made any comments.
Target awesome.
I was wondering if it was you.
I love that component.
were going to watch, but I hadn't come online when they went to try and log in, and they had something they suddenly needed to take care of before they could come back online. But they may have logged in and just are going to come back. Can't really ask them, or well, yes. Well,
Everyone okay? Hope you're not
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
You're clear to board at Met Bay number 1. Welcome back.
Yes. Yes. No, you can't. There's not room for it in the freezer. I want someone.
main traffic lane and no longer at food.
Ooh. Ooh. That's good salvage. Oh, Bomb is injured. Bomb is very, very injured.
Wait, who was on?
No, Major Bomb.
Oh, bomb. Yeah, major bomb.
B-A-U-M.
Yeah, well, that's how you say it.
Ah, Kilmarnock. It's a shame it's not a war zone. I would quite enjoy doing missions in Kilmarnock.
Funny what we're talking about.
Yes. Yes. I do not remember acquiring a Rasselhage grasshopper. Ooh, a banshee. Banshees are fun. I mean, I have better, but banshees are fun.
Affirmative, Commander. I'll be in the hangar for pre-drop checklists.
Would Lee like to see a Beethoven?
Oh, what's a golden Beethoven? You said a Beethoven. I hope you're going to show me
Saint Bernard?
nearly set the photograph of Gertrude's house with a profile picture on this one. Paying attention. It was vaguely the colour of the icon I was trying to add. And I thought, no, that's the burning house.
Rasselhage don't like me. Which is a shame, because they're space Vikings. So I like Rasselhage. Because I've spent a lot of my time beating the snot out of them on behalf of the weeaboos. I mean, the weeaboos were paying me for it. I need to stop letting David change the colors on my battle mechs. That's better. So we are doing an assassination for Rasselhage against Independence, except I forgot to read the briefing notes. Oops.
Our targets have given our employer nothing but problems. We've been hired as the solution. Find them and put them down for good. We'll be on standby to evac you once the job is done.
Okay. I can see it's a miracle. Mind you, I am piloting a laser boat-ish, which means that when the shooting starts, I will not be able to see.
New target, Vindicator.
Target signed. All units, weapons free.
My kill.
A Highlander.
Enemy mech down.
Enemy eliminated.
Kill confirmed.
Enemy mech destroyed. I got it.
Target destroyed.
Once you've found the targeted asset, move up to it, and we'll begin the recovery procedure. That's close enough. Ready to start pickup operation. Cargo
This mission
acquired.
might be worth it despite the lack of salvage, after all.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Target down.
I have a visual on the target. Take them out.
And here we see the issue in trying to direct your mech with your maximum zoom.
Keep it up.
You fall down a hole in the ground.
New target, Enforcer.
Good kill, Commander. Critical explosion imminent.
Got another one.
Fun fact, helicopters don't like taking part of the projection cannons in space.
Target.
Yeah!
Target destroyed. Target acquired.
Wrecked.
Destroyed. Target acquired. Target destroyed. Target destroyed. Target acquired. Target destroyed. New target blackjack. Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Tango eliminated.
Destroyed.
Thank you, minions. Well, that answers a question I've had for a while. If a helicopter crashes into your mech before it explodes, it does deal damage. Yes. Yes, except it was behind me when it exploded. And I do not have eyes in the back of my head. No, 3 of my allies are idiots, and one of them managed to blow up a helicopter and land it on my head.
Positive identification on primary. Negative identification on secondaries. What's your 6?
Target destroyed. Target acquired.
Confirmed, Commander. Moving on target.
Got our target. Nicely done. That's the last of them, Commander. Now let's get you all home. Head to the evac point.
might want to kill the Zeus first. Ravens are shiny, but they are also tiny.
Holy cow, nice headshot. That thing's gonna explode.
This never gets old.
It does if you know how fusion reactors work. Jenny's going to be joining me shortly.
Target unit low.
A wild 7 has appeared. Lee says hello. We have just finished assassinating someone for the Space Vikings. I'm not entirely certain who we assassinated, because frankly it doesn't matter so much as the fact that I got paid for the job. But now we're going to hunt some court-martialed soldiers who've decided to take refuge with the weeaboos. I can do that. And I get slightly more salvage this time. But I'm fielding slightly lighter mechs. I will take the Night Star. We'll put you in the one fancy crab, you in the other fancy crab, and you in the surviving Atlas. Well, maybe if your cat was less likely to annihilate the entire local ecosystem, it could go out on the porch. So really, that's your cat's fault.
Is that the reason you're using the cat and not letting the mobs to destroy
No, Seven is being good to the ecosystem by not letting their evil cat out to demolish the ecosystem.
No. If the cat is sad, then Seven is the bad guy.
Lee says if the cat is sad, then Seven is the bad guy.
I mean, I 100% agree with not letting the cat out.
I will point out to Lee that they insisted that I make Robin let go of the mouse yesterday.
Yes. I'm allowed to have
Double standards?
Yes.
Seven goes, that's what I told him, and if I could trust him to keep his fuzzy ass on the porch while I'm out there, he could come out more often. But
Attention. Prepare for battle mech departure.
I'm not sure why I read that out to you, given that you can see my screen.
Stand clear.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
This group has proved to be a nuisance for our employers. We're tasked with making sure that we find them and put them in the ground. Good hunting, everyone.
And when I get a target, I'll work out which of my PPC triggers to switch. It's fine. I don't need these. No, they don't. Especially not on battle mechs. Nothing grows back on battle mechs. Everything is expensive repairs.
Contact. Enemies on scope.
Target.
My kill.
I did get the joke.
Target destroyed.
I'm showing nothing on scopes that can be identified as our targets. We'll have to move on to the next nav point.
There are lots of helicopters.
New target charger.
Oh good, it's the Wussy Charger. Yes, it turns out if they land on you, they'll do a pretty nasty bit of damage.
Target destroyed.
Hmm? Yes, but you will have to wait until I am not in the middle of the mission. I couldn't actually, because in the hopes that someone else will join me for gameplay, I am in co-op. Oh, actually, there. It turns out it was in arm's reach. Robin has moved. He is.
Positive visual on the target, Commander. I've marked it on your tac screen.
I love you too.
I'm detecting unidentified mechs in the area. Moving in to investigate.
Contact. Hostile battle mech on the field.
Got another one.
Target acquired. New target Highlander.
was in fact the shitty Highlander. There are, I think, 4 major variants. There's one with the standard is a class 10 autocannon. The other shitty variant is armed with a PPC, particle projection cannon, which isn't a bad weapon if you have a couple of them, or if you have other heavy weapons to, you know, pack a punch. But the other 2 variants, there's one armed with a Gauss rifle, which is a heavy railgun. That's what my primary weapon is I have 2 of those.
New target awesome.
Or there's one with a class 20 autocannon, which deals enough damage to one-shot some lighter mechs.
Target Alpha has been neutralized. I'm getting 0 reactor signature from the targets. Looks like we got them all.
I actually, in this playthrough, piloted a Highlander for quite a while until I found something better. And alternated between the Gauss rifle variant and the AC-20 variant, depending on which weapon I had more of.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
They are, unsurprisingly, the favoured assault chassis of the Northwind Highlanders Mercenary Company, and before them of the Black Watch, which were the bodyguard of the First Lord of the Star League. Yes, but we like him because he was Scot. And also because that entire family's been wiped out for like 400 or 500 years by current day in-game. So, you know, all of their fuck-ups are far, far, far back in the past. Exactly. We'll grab the Panther and the Spider for loot, and that leaves us enough for that large laser. And we'll grab one of the 4-pip small lasers. Don't think we want to do that one. So we will come and do some repairs. So the blue slice on the map is the Free Rasselhague Republic, which is a relatively recent nation. I think, where's the date on the timeline? 3061? They've been kicking about for about 30 years or so. They were originally created as a buffer state between the Lyran Commonwealth and the Draconis Combine. Yeah, tell me about it. Most of the other polities are like 300 years old. Or more. We do not want to work for either of those, because they are all pirates, and pirates are bad. But we can work for the Periphery Realms, or Rasselhaig. And assassinations are fun! We will start with the one for Rasselhaig, because if we do the one for Rasselhaig first, then we don't suffer the penalty for getting for pissing them off. And this might be problematic, because that's a really... yeah, okay. Right. No, we don't want you in that one. We will stick you in the Atlas, and I will take my Marauder.
Contact! I got it!
I'm not seeing our targets at this location. Make way to the next nav point. We might have more luck there.
So, the AI in this sometimes makes some questionable decisions. Like Karna's choice there to use some of his very limited Gauss rifle ammo to kill a helicopter. Not that this game uses helicopters the way they're actually supposed to be used in the setting.
New target, Hunchback.
And that's not actually a hunchback. We shall need to help you develop this mech pilot, OC. If it makes you feel any better, I forgot I'd switched which mech I was in. So when I was hitting the bumper for my pulse lasers and going, why is nothing happening? And then I hit the button for my PPC and went, why is that pulse lasers? And then I started tapping the bumpers for my Gauss rifles and went, why are those PPCs? And unfortunately, androids aren't a thing in Battletech. There's not really any true AI. The closest you get is there is cybernetic enhancement. However, it's one of those things where
That's close enough. Ready to start pickup operation.
Cargo
acquired.
there is a lot more debate about the ethics than there really should be. Now I can hear helicopters. Yeah, sounds good. Ah, there we go.
Target destroyed.
But the ethical debates over cybernetic enhancements in Battletech is there are a bunch of religious groups that object to the concept on religious grounds, and they were largely in the minority until the Word of Blake came on the scene. And the Word of Blake is a religious splinter group of Comstar, which is basically space AT&T, only, you know, with even more questionable morality. And they made great use of cybernetic enhancement in their Mano Domini shock troops during their crusade. That basically ensured that no one was going to trust cybernetic enhancement ever again. I am slightly concerned by the size of that explosion that I do not have line of sight on yet.
New target, Griffin. Incoming missile. Target acquired. Incoming missile. Target acquired.
Enemy mech eliminated.
I appear to have missed steps 2 and 3. Hey, we have new people. Hello, new people.
Target destroyed. Target acquired. Target destroyed. Target acquired. New target Javelin.
There's the
Target
missing Griffin.
acquired.
That bounty is ours.
There was the
Bard
missing
will break
Griffin.
open a case of Timbicky Dark when you get back to the ship safely.
Target destroyed.
Now where? Ah, straight ahead.
Target acquired.
Behind this part.
Target destroyed.
Armored vehicle spotted.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
I'm amused at how he commented on the appearance of a scorpion like it was a threat. And if all the missions in this area are at this difficulty, I should be able to do a bunch of them before I need to go do any repairs. I think, given the tonnage limit, they're expecting me to take a bunch of lighter mechs, but I don't have any. It is very much to my benefit in this instance. Grab Irby. At this difficulty, there's not a lot of particularly valuable. And now we do that assassinate against Rastlake. The periphery realms like me. Mostly because most of their fights are with people like pirates, who I have no problem beating the snot out of.
Heavy weather warning is in effect, Commander. Your visibility and sensor readings will be compromised out there.
That could well be it, yes. So let's see about getting Copeland that last little bit of experience he needs. And I am going to try my Corsair, which is a Frankenmech. I think they've been in the lore for a while, but they only cropped up in games, I think, in this one and in MechWarrior Online.
Prepare for battle mech departure. Warning. Hangar doors opening. Stand clear.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online.
MechWarrior Online? I have it on
This
Steam,
one is a
but
real
my
piece of
laptop
work.
will
It's
not
no
run
wonder
it.
Someone wants them dead. They were last spotted at the location
That,
marked
and
on your
I
map.
much
Once the
prefer
job is done, head to the evac points before it goes
co-op or
sheltering the
single-player
targets get
gameplay.
wind of what we're up to here.
On the other hand, I'm not going to complain too much because, you know, I think MechWarrior Online is what prompted Piranha to make this. So, I was saying about the Corsair as a Frankenmech. The idea is that out in the periphery, outside, you know, the longest settled worlds,
Wrecked.
and the easier to get to ones, battle mechs in particular are quite rare and hard to come by. So what they'll do is, if they have several mechs that, like, this mech, the legs still function, but only the legs. That mech, the torso's fine, but it's got no arms. They'll take them apart and cobble them together into something that
Fire starter.
doesn't particularly look great, but, you know,
Looks like we're at the wrong place, Commander.
works.
Our target must have given us the slip. Let's check out the other locations.
Mech destroyed.
And these monstrosities are referred to as Frankenmechs. I imagine lighter ones are more common, but it's my understanding the MechWarrior Online ones, and definitely this one here, is an assault chassis at 95 tons.
Tango down.
New target troubleshooting.
This particular one is also armed with a pair of Class 20 autocannons, which is how that trebuchet no longer has a head. Yes, probably.
This never gets old.
Hostile spotted. Engaging.
New target javelin. Target
course. Of course.
New target, urban mech. Target destroyed.
Target signed. All units, weapons free.
Centurion AA. And the Griffin.
New target, Centurion.
So I'm gonna try and keep my distance from that Centurion. Because it is also armed with an AC-20.
Heat critical. System offline.
Ouch.
Target acquired.
Got our target. Nicely done. Now let's pack it in before their friends arrive.
Yeah, nice shooting. That cockpit is a mess.
That's
Target
impressive
destroyed.
for a hip shot. This sounds like an interesting setting. I may need to look it up at some point. Or, well, may need to pick your brains for more details at some point, rather.
Target acquired.
Now that we've killed the Rasselhake pilot we're supposed to, we can leave. Hey, I don't know if you have read the original Witcher book, but the first book Sapkowski published was just a bunch of scattered shorts. And, you know, he's now a Netflix original. So, there is nothing wrong with writing scattershot short stories. I mean, it can't hurt. I mean, it can't hurt. Ooh. That's convenient. That green box around it means I'm supposed to be collecting them for one of my side quests. Collect 2 fire starter mechs. Yes. Yes. So we are not fighting for the Oberon Confederation because they are a bunch of pirates. I do not want to do a beachhead without competent minions, so we'll jump here and do a thingy for Rasselhaig. I did not yet. I believe I have mentioned that yesterday and last night were very much day.
To stick to any one of the marked locations on the map. Once you neutralize them, head to the evac point for extraction.
I think we're going to duck to the far side and check that. Yeah. We'll duck over to the far side and check the southernmost one. A lot of the maps do they're procedurally generated, most of them, which means that yes, technically you're on a different map every time, but a lot of them do feel fairly samey after a while.
Target acquired. Target destroyed. Target acquired.
So I am piloting a king crab at the moment,
Target destroyed.
which is one of my favorite assault mechs. It is 100 tons, maxes out at just shy of 50 kilometers an hour. I suspect if your stepdad were to try to eat one of these king crabs, he would, at the very least, break his teeth. The standard is armed with a Class 20 autocannon in each fist, a ER large laser atop one shoulder, and a 10 or a 15 tube missile pod on the other shoulder.
New target
I have this one geared up
Enemy reactor is about to blow.
to closely resemble Comstar's Clanbuster variant, which replaces the Class 20 autocannons with Gauss rifles, which means I can use it as a sniper.
I'm not seeing our targets at this location.
I've also
Make way to the
swapped,
next nav
I've
point.
dropped
We
the
might have more luck
15
there.
tube missile pod
acquired.
to a 10 with a guidance system,
Target destroyed.
and swapped the large laser for a particle cannon.
Target destroyed. Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Because when I decide to hit something, it is going to stay hit.
Target acquired.
My minion is in a variant of one of the hero mechs, the Carapace. And I believe I have him geared up with a 20-tube missile, long-range missile pod in each shoulder with a guidance system. And then a Class 10 LBX autocannon, which is basically a I think something like a 120mm shotgun. Hello. But it's got an LBX AC-10 in each arm, and then a machine gun underneath to take up the last couple of tons of weight that I didn't have any other use for because, well, it doesn't need much in the way of heat sinks, and you can only carry so much ammo before you are carrying more ammo than you need.
Flyer in the air.
Target acquired.
I'm showing nothing on scopes that can be identified as our targets. We'll have to move on to the next nav point.
You'd be surprised.
Enemy destroyed.
Like, I think she's carrying something like 7 tons of ammunition. The friend I've had pilot
There
that
they are,
mech,
Commander.
the friend I
Take them
geared
out.
that mech
Let's get
out
the
like
hell out
that
of here.
for,
New
is
target
not a good
Urban
shot with anything but missiles. And he has yet to run out of ammo.
incoming missile. Target destroyed. Target acquired. Incoming missile.
I used to occasionally. It is one of those things where my laptop will not run it with any reasonable speed.
Net kill confirmed.
Incoming missile.
This is vanilla. Well, with Heroes of the Inner Sphere and Kestrel Lancers.
Target neutralized. Ow, headshot. Nice shooting.
We've got our main guy. Good job.
Right.
Fulfilled our contract,
And now I'm
Commander.
on
Let's get you out of
internals,
here now.
so let's get out of here as soon as Rihanna tells me where I'm going.
Target destroyed.
I'm actually in a campaign playthrough, but I'm also in like
Target
3061.
assassin. Incoming missile. Target destroyed. Target acquired. New target, Enforcer.
Target mech down.
Target.
Took one down.
Target destroyed.
My mech loadout is I'll bring it up in the mech lab once we extract if I can. My minions loadout is not. But no, I've got a Gauss rifle in each fist. You need to be the quad 0 king crab. I don't think it works in the 000B. But the I'm trying to think. You definitely get a king crab over the course of the main game. I'm just not sure if it's this precise variant. I had been hoping someone would bring a fire starter. So this is what we've got. A Gauss rifle in each fist. 2 tons of ammo in the center torso, mostly because if I lose the center torso, I'm dead anyway. Where is my LRM ammo? I played 3 a bunch as a kid, and I have played a pile of 4. Yeah, it's really good as a sniper. I don't tend to use it too often because I have issues with keeping the range open. I don't usually. But on those rare occasions that I remember that I'm not supposed to be getting in close, it works really, really well. Let's see what this multi-mission for independence is. I'm gonna go with a no, but the AI in this game seems to prioritize human targets anyway, or the enemy AI. So even if your AIs are getting in closer than they should, the enemies are going to be focused on you anyway. Yeah, I can do that. I possibly should have seen to some repairs first. Defense. So I will take the Night Star, and we'll throw Buddy in the Kaiju. And while we're doing that, I did not play MechWarrior Online. My computer is not exact. It's a 12-year-old Toshiba laptop. So it occasionally has trouble with MechWarrior 4. I am in fact playing this on PlayStation 4. Also, I much prefer co-op or single-player experiences to PvP multiplayer.
We have received intel that enemy forces have
So,
entered our garrison perimeter.
we're
We're
doing
under
a
contract to
defense,
defend the
basically.
facilities at Nav Alpha for all incoming hostiles.
Do you have the DLCs? Or is it just the base game? I definitely recommend them. The Kestrel Lancers campaign is an absolute blast. You basically end up running through one of the 4th Succession War campaigns, and they manage to
You've reached the target, Commander.
mess with the cannon just enough to put you in a couple of the particularly impressive battles.
Now fan out and take defensive
So you won't have
positions.
to worry about
Prepare for
this,
incoming
but
hostiles.
that yellow marker there is an artillery emplacement. They brought them in the Kestrel Lancers, and they are the bane of my existence. If I don't take it out, it's going to keep dropping artillery shells on my head.
Tangos appear to be bringing in additional reinforcements. Brace yourselves.
And I did that thing where I forgot I'm not in my Marauder 2 anymore. So, have you worked out what sort of play style you like,
Closing in.
Zagreon? Like, what sort of mechs do you prefer? Hero mechs can be. They're not always. There's a lot of hero mechs that I don't like, and there's a couple of hero mechs that I've had to really... The hard points they offer are really, really good once I, arrange them in a reasonable loadout.
Nearly there, Commander. Approach the hidden object to pick it up.
Oh, so there's 2 DLC out at the moment. One of them is Heroes of the Inner Sphere, and the other is Legend of the Kestrel Lancers. The one with the campaign I mentioned is the Kestrel Lancers one. And then there's a 3rd DLC that has been
Damage to the
announced,
facilities is minor at the moment, Commander. But we cannot allow such damage to
but we don't
cascade.
have a release
Do
date
what you
yet
can
that I'm really
to draw
looking
the
forward
enemies
to.
away from here.
They're introducing a bunch of the melee equipped mechs. Like, we're getting the Hatchet Man and then a bunch of melee equipped variants. I'm looking forward to...
It's our mercenary Lance. We're
there's
grateful that you made it.
definitely a Highlander variant. There's, I think, 2 Highlander variants with melee weapons coming. So there will come a point where you won't be able to use mediums,
Target Blackjack.
like in previous games, you eventually hit a point where mediums just aren't sustainable.
Sharp shooting.
But, like, I was still finding uses for the Centurion right up until I was in Assaults. AC-10s are actually surprisingly
This location has
effective.
suffered a beating. Try to get the attention of as many opponents as possible. We need to keep their attention
Like,
on us
if you
and
can
not
be
their objective.
accurate with
Target
AC-10s,
destroyed. Target destroyed.
it usually only takes 2 or 3 hits with an AC-10 to headshot even an assault.
Scopes are lighting up with additional bogies, Commander.
AC-5s, I find the
Power generator is down.
the range and tonnage advantage for them doesn't balance out with the reduction in damage compared to an AC-10. But then again, like, I'm usually playing brawlers and I tend to get in considerably closer than is probably safe.
They look like they're heading your way.
New target, Javelin. Target acquired.
Engaging requested target. Enemy destroyed.
A pair of Gauss
This area is
slugs
on the verge of total collapse.
probably
It's now or never,
overkill.
Commander.
Would one of you be able to tell me how many enemies are left? My screen kind of cuts off the side,
Attacking target.
Target
which
acquired.
makes these garrison and defenses problematic because I can never be sure just how many enemies I have left. 7 left.
Nice work,
Make that
Commander.
6. Hopefully there's a bunch of
Additional tangos en route
helicopters.
to your position, Commander.
Vulcan,
Target acquired.
Partisan, and Assassin. Ah!
Target acquired.
Tin can crushed. Starting engagement.
Target acquired. Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
That mech is about to pop.
Is this assassin the last
acquired.
one?
Damn it, this location is lost. Our employer will not be pleased. Get out of there, Commander. There's no more good we can do here.
So I've not actually done much with the instant action, but tonnage limits are a definite thing. It's in the campaign, it limits you to the maximum tonnage for the mission, and you can make that up with any combination of mechs you like. which is how I was doing this with 2 assault mechs, and I probably should have gone with lighter mechs, but you're only allowed 12 mechs with a full loadout, and mine are all assaults. We can do an objective raid against Oberon. So I typically max out my salvage, just because usually I can make more from selling the loot when I eventually get round to it than I will from the payout. And I am going to need to vanish for a few minutes before I do this mission, but I will be back in a moment. I am. I've actually got like 8 or 9 people watching me, so it's cool. Anyway, I will let you go. You too. Toodle pip. So in the instant action, I think you can also ignore the tonnage limits if you're going through the instant action menu. I know I've done like the first mission, which you're supposed to do in a Javelin, I've done in a Highlander, just for fun. What was the contract again? Pillage. Yeah, let's take the Atlases. I haven't tried the Boarhound yet. I'm gonna throw Buddy in the RS. Yeah, I actually played the tabletop as well. I picked up the Clan Invasion Kickstarter when it came out. I have Rasselhague Republic and Clan Ghostbear. And I'm eagerly awaiting the Mercenaries Kickstarter later this year.
We've been hired to raid for supplies.
Alrighty. We'll get this northeast one and then we'll cut across and hook counterclockwise for the rest, I think.
Target acquired.
But yeah, I think
Target destroyed.
Battletech goes back to like the mid-80s. It was originally released under the name of Battle Droids until George Lucas took issue with their use of the word droids. And there's been a whole bunch of legal issues over the years because a bunch of the early mech designs were licensed from things like Dugram and Macross. And then when Dugram and Macross decided to try and break into the US market, they took the rights back, and that caused a whole load of legal issues. What are... Ah, that's what you're shooting at. I'm not sure about the rifleman. I know the Phoenix Hawk was. That's one of my favorite mediums for the tabletop, but I'm not so fond of it in this. Just because, well, I find the heat management's easier in the tabletop. What else was Griffins, I think. I think the original Marauder, maybe? But one of the things they did when they did the Clan Invasion Kickstarter a couple of years back was they commissioned their design team basically redesigned all the mechs that they weren't able to use because of the legal issues, and basically redid the design so that they were different enough from the anime style designs that they could use them, which is cool because like some of them were really major names in the setting.
Target neutralized.
I spend a lot of time on Sarna when I'm bored. Honestly, looking at the scene redesigns, I actually prefer most of them to the original ones. A lot of the original designs had a much more organic feel, whereas the rescene designs have a lot more like a Western style war machine design, which, given, you know, the hard science basis for Battletech, you know, makes a lot of sense. I'm not familiar with that one.
Target acquired.
Mind you, when I had an Xbox, my gaming on it was almost entirely Skyrim and Mass Effect.
Target destroyed.
I played stupid amounts of Mass Effect.
Hostile spotted. Engaging.
Aircraft spotted.
Okay. So, just a note that you might wish to remember. Urban mechs, for the most part, aren't a major concern. But if you see an R60L, you want to keep your distance. Because the R60L, they rip out a bunch of stuff and replace the AC-10 with a 20.
Target destroyed. Target acquired.
which, you know, will open your mech like a tin can if you're not careful. It's actually been one of the canon designs, basically from the get-go, and it makes quite a bit of sense once you start considering what Urbies were probably built for. I mean, I am assuming by this point the technology exists to make it recoilless.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
But yeah, no, yeah, an AC-20's what, 14 tons? And an Urbi's only like 30 or 35. So, you know, it's a reasonable question. I actually found a think piece the other day that had a suggestion as to what the Urbie was actually intended for. And they were saying that it was designed around the same time as mobile long-tom artillery. And they were saying that they think that part of the design philosophy might have been that it was supposed to be paired with mobile long-toms as a portable defense for cities that didn't rate full-on fortifications.
Cargo acquired.
I, on the other hand, have a mind for this sort of trivia.
New target Hunchback.
That's not a hunchback, it's a swayback.
New target Vulcan. Target acquired. Target destroyed.
There you are. Right.
Target destroyed.
It is easier to kill a man with a shovel than dig a ditch with a sword. But then again, you know, swords are basically a status symbol as much as a weapon.
Target destroyed. New target Rifleman.
Hey, speaking of riflemen,
That was some sharpshooting.
it's not sharpshooting when I'm standing with my arm in his cockpit before I pull the trigger.
Once you've found the targeted asset, move up to it, and we'll begin the recovery procedure. That's the last of the targets, Commander. Now get back here before hostiles converge on your position.
Rihanna, you picked the worst possible place. At least I don't have to cut my way through to it. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, that was why I never made more of an effort to give it a shot. And why I was so thrilled when they announced that MechWarrior 5 was going to go to PS4, because I knew I had a system that would run that. Fun fact, we're actually underutilizing our dropship. It should have a bay for 2 aerospace fighters in the nose that we never use. The clan variant rips out that bay and replaces it with a 5th mech bay, so it can drop a whole star. Apparently at the expense of making it an absolute bugger for the technicians assigned to the mech in the nose.
Happy you made it out of there alive, Commander. Stand by for pickup.
I mean, I could use artillery, but I find that mechs typically are able to outrun an artillery barrage. It's occasionally useful for doing raids, but generally the time I spend calling it in is better spent just shooting. At least in my opinion. Another fun fact, strictly speaking, by this point, everywhere I am right now should be clan territory, and have been clan territory for about a decade. That stock Centurion is pretty decent, though. Like I said, that stock Centurion lasted me... I think I stopped using it when I managed to acquire a Warhammer. And even then, I was still occasionally hopping in the Centurion right up until I was in the assault weight matches. Once I was in assault weight matches, I picked up a Victor and then a Highlander, and, well, that was basically it. So let's come down to Mamagen and do some repairs. And then see if we can't go somewhere where I can field the full lance. And I'll be back in a minute or two. Alrighty. I like that. So we will continue to make the Free Rasselhague Republic, not like me, but we will get all the loot from this one. I'm not entirely certain how they intend us to keep a low profile when they're going to be telling us to take in 400 tons worth of battle mech.
Bad news, Commander. Extreme weather conditions means you'll be dealing with limited visibility and compromised sensors on this mission.
I will take my Marauder 2. Then we'll take the 3 crabs. So the Kaiju's an interesting mech. It's a king crab with a PPC in each, 2 PPCs in each arm, and then over the shoulder an AC5 and LRM-15. I'm pretty sure I kept that one basically standard. Oh, yes. Hopefully see you again. A couple of friends, it'll probably be close to a month before we started, but a few friends and I are going to be streaming our way through the Kestrel Lancers. And if you keep an eye on this account, you're more than welcome to join us for that. But yes, have a good day. Or, you know, evening, whatever. Now, strictly speaking, we are in breach of the Ares Conventions and committing a war crime here.
Our target must have given us a slip. Let's check out the other locations. Nearly there, Commander. Approach the hidden
I
object
possibly should have brought the Annihilators. This map's tight enough that the Annihilator's speed wouldn't be as much of an issue.
Excellent find, Commander. Beginning recovery now.
That's an enemy mech.
Time is a social construct.
Target acquired.
Rifle. And a Wolverine. I do not like Wolverines.
Thank you, Commander. It's about to go all explodey.
Indicator is down. The trouble with Wolverines is that their loadout
In the field, Commander. They're
is
marked on your tactical
basically
display.
perfectly designed to be annoying. They are just sturdy enough to last and just nifty enough to drive you mental.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Got our target. Nicely done. We
Also,
fulfilled
I
our
very
contract,
much miss
Commander.
being able to
Let's get
flush
you out of
coolant
here
when my
now.
heat got high.
Target acquired.
Now we could just... Or we could increase our salvage options by mauling everything they throw at us.
New target located. Target destroyed. Target acquired.
But we might have had a better chance of producing extra salvage if we had, you know, not completely obliterated that Jaeger. Oh well. These things happen. At least they didn't happen to us.
Tango eliminated.
Yeah, I can't grab both. Now, they say that House Kurita forces are hiding away on Hanover X. Except, of course, that Hanover X is in House Kurita territory. Like, very decidedly in Kuritan territory. But, oh well. Alrighty. I shall take the Corsair. No, I shall take Atlas. Let's have the good old-fashioned Steiner Scout Lance. The Lyran Alliance, which is governed by House Steiner, is known for poor to middling generals, but very good equipment, and lots of it. And the joke is that Steiner deploys scout lances that are composed of nothing but atlases because they can afford to.
We've been hired to execute an objective raid. Our intel places these objectives at various locations in this area. Head towards the areas marked on the map to locate the individual targets. Watch for enemy patrols in the area.
Enemy destroyed. Threat eliminated.
I think this might, however, be my last mission because apparently I've been staring at the screen too long.
Target
Because I did
acquired.
not notice either of those last two enemies.
Target neutralized.
New target urban map.
Well, it has been fun, and I will see you next time, Seven.
Big kill confirmed.
Target acquired.
Tango down.
Fuel silo present. Warehouses.
Target acquired.
Blasted partisans.
Target destroyed. Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Tango down. This never gets old.
Target destroyed.
Target destroyed.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
I need to convince my lancemates to stop dropping enemy helicopters on my head.
Target destroyed. Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Because that's a lot of armor damage that I'd really like to not have to afford to be taken.
Target destroyed. Target acquired.
Focus engagement on these targets.
Incoming missile. acquired.
Target down.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Scratch that target off the list.
Target acquired. Target destroyed. Target destroyed. Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Damn, lost a component.
Target destroyed.
I suppose it was too much to hope that they could deal with the 2 mechs behind us.
Taking heavy damage.
Target destroyed.
I have to bear.
New target Atlas. Target acquired.
Enemy eliminated.
Destroyed.
Well placed kill shots.
Okay, now that the Atlas is taken care of,
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Enemy destroyed.
Target destroyed. Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Target neutralized. All target buildings have been destroyed, Commander. Good job. Getting you an evac now. Head to the marked location. Stand by for pickup, Commander. Welcome home.
anyway, I think that is going to be me knocking off here, because my brain is getting slightly frazzled. But like I said when Zagorod left, a couple of friends and I are going to be streaming our way through the Kestrel Lancers in the not overly distant future, so watch this space. And hopefully I'll see some of you back next time.